device.
Step 2, enable our skill by going to the menu, select skills, then find WHOW, open the skill.
Step 3, activate the skill by saying, Alexa, play WHOW radio.
That's all there is to it.
And to stop the WHOW stream, just say, Alexa, stop.
WHOW, now on the Amazon Alexa app.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The Clinton City Council has named Sue Whitted to the new Commissioner of Finance term, replacing the unfinished term of Tom Edmonds, who passed away in July. Mayor Helen Michalossi told the Heart Media Group that Whitted brings a great deal of knowledge about finance, local government, and business to the council.
Well, we had several people reach out to the clerk and express interest, which I was thrilled about because it's so nice to have so many people interested in serving the great community we have here. And I reached out to them and we had some conversations, and the council has made a determination that we think a good fit will be Sue Whitted, who has agreed. She had expressed interest. We talked to Sue, and she has agreed to fill that finance commissioner's position. So we had our city clerk, Cameron Wilford, posted on the city website that over a period of days, we would be accepting names from anybody that wanted to call and say, hey, I may be interested in filling that empty seat. And then I reached out to them. Some were still interested. One or two said, I've rethought this and it's not a good time for me to do this. The others met with me either over the phone because of time constraints, or we met in person and we talked about what finance commissioner's duties were and that there would be a part of the council. And I got feedback from them on what they thought and what they think that they would bring to the table. So it was really good to have those conversations with folks about their interest. And then when we were done with that, when we met last Thursday in closed session, because it's a personnel issue, we had a discussion among council members about those who had sort of, so to speak, thrown their hat in the ring. And we had a discussion about them. And it was at the end of the day, the motion was made and carried that they felt that Sue Whitted would be a great person to step up and fill that empty seat. And I, quite frankly, tend to agree with that. Her experience is good.
According to the mayor, Whitted's community involvement stood out among the people her council talked to. While not a prerequisite to getting the post, the mayor points out many individuals made their intentions known that they wish to run for the commissioner's seat when the election comes around next spring.
Well, when she served on county board, she worked with finance committee, I believe. She also owned her own small business on the square in Clinton for a number of years. She's lived here, like me, seems like forever, like 100 years. She knows Clinton. And when I talk to somebody and they say, look, here's what I want to help make Clinton better. Clinton's a great community, and I want to be a part of that. Exciting things are happening, and I'd like to be a part of helping to bring those forward. That speaks volumes to me. When we had a conversation with folks, most of the people I had a conversation with, I didn't have to bring up. They said, look, I'm going to run for something, this or something, and I'm interested in sitting on this council. I'm interested in helping, and it went along those lines. So most people just generally told me, yep, hey, by the way, I want to stay on this council. I want to, if I have this, if I'm chosen to be the finance commissioner, I'm going to run for that seat when we can pick up petitions. Yeah, because, it wasn't really our conversation as I recall, as counsel to discuss it. We talked about qualifications and experience because that's kind of what needed to lead us, I think.
Whitted will be sworn onto the council at its meeting next Tuesday night. The DeWitt County Board is continuing to try to contact representatives from Enel Green Energy regarding questions and issues with its Alta Farms 2 wind farm in northwest DeWitt County. At the Monday night DeWitt County Land Use Committee meeting, Zoning Administrator Elizabeth Weichel says the efforts to make contact with the renewable energy company continue to come up empty.
Okay. Do you have any update on this from Enel?
I have reached out via email and phone call to the company, and I didn't get any answers so far, but I did get a alternate contact that I'm trying to reach through now. That is, I believe, their PR person. So I'm going to try another route to try to get what we need.
Have you requested Mr. Markwell to reach out, inform them what they're behind on?
Mr. Markwell said for me to give them another deadline, see, and then if we don't get the curtailments and stuff, then we can go about finding them.
The renewable energy provider told previous iterations of the board they would be better about communicating with county officials. However, since that time, board members have come off the board, and the representatives that made those commitments to have moved on, and the board and community remain frustrated by the lack of communication regarding curtailment issues during severe weather, as well as the lighting system. As students get back to class in Central Illinois, a University of Illinois nutrition educator is hoping you'll make time to consider the items you're packing for your youngster if they are taking their lunch with them. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator at the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties, told the Heart Media Group there are a number of things to consider when packing a child's lunch, but one of the main things is to consider the ease in which they will be able to consume those foods.
If you're going to plan to pack lunches for your kiddos and send them to school, I want to think about nutrition and then food safety, I think, are the two things we'll start with. So always great to include your kids, especially if they're older, in that discussion about, okay, what are you going to pack? Because then you can have those conversations about nutrition of, okay, we're going to include some chips, but we're also going to pack some fruit, or we're going to pack some chips. So including them in that decision-making, a lot of times makes it so that that apple didn't just take a trip to school and back home without getting eaten. So the goal of hopefully that they can go, well, I picked that out as something that I wanted. Hopefully that'll, encourage them to eat. We always talk about the short duration of lunches for students. And so having things that your students can chew through pretty quickly. So if an apple's a little bit too much effort, either having it pre-chopped or maybe doing something like applesauce where it's much easier. They don't have to chew quite as much to get through that. So think about things that they can get through relatively quickly. Crunchy stuff does take a little bit more time to, chow down on. Something softer like the applesauce or, breads and sandwiches. If you're wanting to do like hot foods, like soups, having things like, chicken noodle soup's a great option in there.
Mellendorf encourages parents and guardians to consider what their kids would enjoy having in their lunches to make sure everything gets eaten and they are getting enough to eat.
So thinking about like, what are those things that they would enjoy? I always invite families to think about convenience as well with that, because especially if you've got multiple kids that you're packing multiple lunches for, doing applesauce cups might be the easy, convenient option rather than pouring applesauce into individual containers. But really up to that family and their budget and their time. The goal for lunches, we want to include a fruit or a vegetable with those lunches. You can do both if your kids are, into really, fruits and vegetables, do both. But if they're really just like in a phase of like fruits only or veggies only, at least try to include one. Again, they may not finish it all. That's okay. If they take a couple bites, that's still nutrition in their belly. And then, as you said, a source of protein. So adding in a hard-boiled egg, some deli meat, if they, want like peanut butter, if they are more like a peanut butter kind of protein kid, that's great too.
We'll have more with Mellendorf about the evolution of school lunches and how schools now serve meals that meet certain government guidelines in the days ahead from the Heart Media Group. In the meantime, learn more at extension.illinois.edu/DMP. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Our local hospitals are the heartbeat of our communities, delivering critical care every hour of every day for everyone, training the next generation of caregivers. Beyond the walls, their benefit to the community is everywhere, driving the local economy and supporting local organizations, initiatives, and neighbors. Illinois Hospitals, healing communities. Learn more at team-iha.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Don't let a summer sniffle turn into a summer setback. Whether it's a cold cough, rash, scrape, bug bite, or minor injury, Warner Hospital's walk-in clinic has you covered. No appointment necessary. Just walk in and be seen by our caring medical team. Fast, convenient care. Close to home means less time waiting, more time enjoying summer. Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic. Right here when you need us.
From the Heart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Luis Castillo struck out 10 in 7 sparkling innings, helping the Chicago White Sox beat Rhett Lauder and the Cincinnati Reds 5-0 on Wednesday night.
The White Sox dominated the Reds on Wednesday night. Luis Castillo making his debut at Wright Field for the good guys. Absolutely filthy against his former club, punching out 10 over 7 shutout innings.
Swing and a miss. He got it. Foul. Tip, strike 3 like that. 9 strikeouts against 2 walks for Castillo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Castillo's pumped up.
Hard to lay off 3 straight changeups, though.
A couple home runs by Drew Romo and Chase Mydroff, and the White Sox cruise to a 5-0 win against the Reds. I'm Jeff Meller. White Sox look to take the rubber game from Cincinnati Thursday afternoon here at Wright Field. Pre-game coverage starts at 12:30 on the ESPN Chicago Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
The Sox wrap up their series with the Reds with an afternoon game today. They'll be back on WHOW on Friday when they kick off a weekend series with the Detroit Tigers. Pre-game of Friday's outing begins at 5 p.m. Alec Burleson drove in 3 runs, including a 2-run double during a 4-run 5th inning against Zach Wheeler. And the St. Louis Cardinals beat the Philadelphia Phillies 7-1 on Wednesday. Burleson finished 5 for 10 with 2 doubles and 5 RBIs in the series as the Cardinals took 2 of 3 from the Phillies and moved 1 game over 500 at 61-60. Both teams are chasing an NL wildcard playoff spot. St. Louis won its 3rd straight series, the first time it has done that this season. Kyle Leahy is 9-4 and pitched 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 6 hits and no walks. He struck out 6. All the Cardinals' runs in the 5th came in with 2 outs as St. Louis strung together 4 consecutive hits against Wheeler, who is 10-4. St. Louis rookie Cesar Prieto opened the 5th with a single to right, ending an 0-for-27 slump with his first hit of the season and second of his career. J.J. Weatherholt singled with 2 outs. Prieto scored when Ivan Herrera singled on a 3-2 fastball. Burleson doubled to right to make it 4-1, and he scored on Jordan Walker's double. Burleson added an RBI single as the Cardinals scored twice in the 7th. St. Louis took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd after first baseman Alex Bohm misplayed Walker's grounder. Walker stole second and scored on Nathan Church's double to left. Bryce Harper doubled in the 4th for Philadelphia, and scored on a two-bagger by Luis Arraez. The Phillies head to Dyersville, Iowa, where they will face Minnesota in the Field of Dreams game on Thursday night. Right-hander Aaron Nola is 3-9 with a 5.47 ERA and faces Twins right-hander Taj Bradley, who is 9-4 with a 3.76 ERA. The Cardinals begin a series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field on Friday with left-hander Matthew Liberatore, who is 5-9 with a 5.15 ERA on the mound against a Chicago pitcher that is yet to be named. Alex Bregman hit 3 homers in a game for the first time and drove in a career-high 7 runs as the Chicago Cubs routed the Washington Nationals 12-6 on Wednesday night. Dansby Swanson also went deep for Chicago, which pulled within 3 games of NL Central leading Milwaukee. The Cubs have won 8 of 9 and are a season-high 21 games over 500 at 71-50 overall. Abimelec Ortiz and Jose Tena homered, and Dalen Lyle had 3 RBIs for Washington. In the 5th, Bregman ripped a sweeper from Jake Bird into the visitors' bullpen and left for a 3-run shot to cap the Cubs' 4-run inning. Swanson hit a go-ahead RBI double against Tom Cosgrove, who was 0-2 in the 6th inning. 2 batters later, Seiya Suzuki delivered a 2-run single off Giovanni Cruz before Bregman pulled a 2-run shot to left off the rookie to make it 9-4. The 3-time All-Star added a 2-run drive off Trevor Williams into the Chicago bullpen in the 8th. Swanson was the last Cub with 3 homers in a game, doing so July 1st against San Diego. It was Bregman's 9th multi-homer game and first since March 29th when he did it at home against the Nationals. The 32-year-old has 16 homers in his first season with Chicago. Cub starter David Peterson is 7-7 and allowed 4 runs, 3 earned, while striking out 6 over 5 innings. Peterson improved to 9-2 with a 3.23 ERA in 17 appearances against Washington. He has never allowed a home run in 86 1/3 innings against the Nationals. Javier Assad pitched 4 innings for his second save. Washington left-hander Jackson Kent allowed 3 runs on 3 hits and 5 walks over 4+ innings in his major league debut. He struck out 6. Chicago righty Kevin Gossman is 6-10 with a 4.29 ERA and faces Washington righty Cade Cavalli, who is 9-5 with a 3.57 ERA as the series concludes Thursday. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Minnesota Twins beat the Baltimore Orioles 7-5, while the Tampa Bay Rays took down the Athletics 8-4. The Colorado Rockies beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 6-4, while the Houston Astros took down the San Francisco Giants 2-1. The San Diego Padres beat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-3 in 11 innings. The Cleveland Guardians took down the Detroit Tigers 6-4. The Miami Marlins routed the Pittsburgh Pirates 8-2. While the New York Yankees beat the Seattle Mariners 10-5. The Toronto Blue Jays took down the Boston Red Sox 6-4, while the Atlanta Braves beat the New York Mets 6-3. The Los Angeles Dodgers took down the Kansas City Royals 4-2, while the Los Angeles Angels beat the Texas Rangers 5-2. Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love expects to play in the Packers' first preseason game tonight, Thursday, at Pittsburgh. He has played in Green Bay's preseason opener each of his 3 previous seasons as a starter and injured his left non-throwing thumb in an exhibition game last year with the New York Jets. He ended up undergoing surgery and returned to practice 6 days later. Love acknowledges he does play differently in the preseason as compared to the regular season. Love doesn't expect to play more than 1 or 2 series, depending on how that opening possession goes. Head coach Matt LaFleur believes his team has fared better early in the season in years when his regulars had at least some playing time during the preseason. Love agrees he has benefited from at least making brief exhibition appearances. Green Bay's preseason opener at Pittsburgh will allow Love and LaFleur to reconnect with former Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who has made no secret regarding his lack of interest in playing preseason games at this stage of his career. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4Ls with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
SIU Center for Family Medicine is here to help with back to school and sports physicals. Healthy kids learn better and play harder. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. So much rain in such a short period of time, resulting in devastating flash flooding across parts of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Evacuations, high water rescues, some fatalities as well. Tropical storm Hernan is formed way out in the Pacific right now, posing no threat to any land mass. It is a desperate situation in Colombia as the clock keeps on ticking. Time is running out for crews to find people still alive in the rubble of the earthquake that so far is blamed for at least 265 deaths. It happened near Fort Hood, Texas. An Army Apache attack helicopter crashing in a field. Both people on board were killed and a wildfire started, causing some evacuations of nearby homes. The helicopter said to have been on a routine training mission at the time. Wall Street, Dow futures up 138 points. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at 2 different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5496.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local news update. The Clinton City Council has named Sue Whitted the new Commissioner of Finance, replacing the unfinished term of Tom Edmonds, who passed away in July. Mayor Helen Michalasi told the Heart Media Group that Whitted brings a great deal of knowledge about finance, local government, and business to the council.
Well, we had several people reach out to the clerk and expressed interest, which I was thrilled about because it's so nice to have so many people interested in serving their, the great community we have here. And I reached out to them and we had some conversations, and the council has made a determination that we think a good fit will be Sue Whitted, who has agreed. She had expressed interest. We talked to Sue, and she has agreed to fill that finance commissioner's